Are you ready? You think you could tell us what to do? You think you could tell us what to wear? You think that you're better? Well, you better get ready. Bow to the masters. Break it down!
Greetings, pro wrestling fans, and thank you for joining us at the Pro Wrestling LookBack Podcast. I'm Nick, and I'm sitting here with
Jag.
Don Watman, a.k.a. 123D, a.k.a. your favorite fucking podcast motherfucking host.
What's your name? Spell
With
it
the
out for
most.
everybody.
Yeah, it's me, you fucking Marks. Donovan.
All right. We
Yeah.
back. Pro Wrestling LookBack Podcast. We're here. We're back. We got Jag back in studio.
That's a pretty good name there, actually.
Well,
He
just
changes it up now.
for those of you who weren't aware, like me and Xbox, we kind of go back a bit, so
Back where?
just paying homage, you know.
Where
We're
do you-
cousins.
Oh,
Yeah. Don Watman
Damn.
in the building.
this guy has no... I don't even know
For
what
tonight,
to
I'm
say.
I'm also MSGD
No, that's got to be Jag's. Got to be... Because he's the MSG...
expert.
Yeah, he's back here with us. He was in Studio Shed for the episode we did, Survivor Series 2002.
Yeah.
Yeah, same one that Mike was here for, actually, at MSG.
That's a very rare occurrence, me and him at the same location at the same time.
Yeah, we got you back here, and we're excited to bring you the Look Back, pay-per-view Look Back show from the Pro Wrestling Look Back.
In the ever rotating.
Third chair, yeah.
There you go.
That's kind of the new thing. The third chair is going to be ever rotating. We're going to try and get different guests in every week and keep it going for you and try and stick the pay-per-views more or less in line with the WWE pay-per-views, but we'll obviously stray off to the side. I know we've got some ideas for Halloween and other things like that, but might as well get to it. Today's show that we're looking back at, SummerSlam 1998.
Yeah.
20-year anniversary of SummerSlam, this year being 2018.
Damn.
Big deal.
Yeah, definitely a big deal. I have to agree with you there. I don't know. What do you guys want to talk about first? I know I'm going to do my normal
Well, I just love that we're
date
doing
in
this
August.
here
And
20 years later, because I feel like, damn, looking back, no pun intended, it's been a long time.
I know.
I agree.
Watching it didn't feel like it's been 20 years. Not that I watched the show, in real time back then, because like I've said a million times, I didn't watch wrestling until 2004, but I know you guys were, Jag, kind of more watching WCW.
Well, it was the only damn thing that I could watch, dude. I only had 3 damn friggin' channels.
Yeah, so explain a little bit of that to the listeners before we dive into the little major points of the pay-per-view.
Well, the best way to explain it is when I was 10, I came to Canada. I wasn't born in Canada. I was born in Trinidad. And basically, you got the bunny ears on your old TV there, and then you basically had 3 channels, and that's it. Monday nights, you would be good because there was WCW, Nitro, and yeah, that's
all you had.
I'm pretty new to like WWE, WWF. I've seen quite a bit, but it's just WCW was my thing.
I was going to say, I wouldn't put you in the newer category. You've definitely watched a lot more than me, and I would put me in the category higher than a casual fan. So you definitely know what you're talking about when it comes to pro wrestling.
Yeah, but it was just a transition because I wasn't used to all these different new wrestlers in my eyes. From my WCW guys to like, oh, okay, well, I didn't know they were in WWF before.
Guys you had actually never seen before.
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so Don, anything you want to talk about before I give the normal stats, pay-per-view stats?
MSG, man, I miss this arena so much.
That little
stress it enough.
entranceway?
The little aisleway is just,
Yeah, it
personal
really is
favorite.
something special. Okay, so I'll get into the main stuff that we always do in the lookbacks. It was August 30th, 1998, like I said. The attendance was 21,588. As we said again, MSG, Madison Square Garden, from New York City, New York. Yeah, I don't know. The tagline for the show, Highway to Hell, theme song, Highway to Hell.
Yep.
Kind of makes all perfect sense. Also wanted to state, not only is it the 20th anniversary, but it makes perfect sense. Obviously, this would be the 10th SummerSlam that they had at the time, right?
Yep.
10 years ago. So that's kind of cool. I'm curious if they'll bring up the fact this year that it's the 20th anniversary. I'm sure they'll mention it, but I haven't heard anything.
Well,
as
normally when it's the 20th of this, like WrestleMania, for example, or Survivor Series and stuff like that, they do bring it up. So
Yeah.
I don't know, it's an odd one. but I think it's a monumental thing.
Oh, for sure.
Something that definitely should be talked about. But if not, get the love from us.
Yep.
Yeah, I know you guys watched a lot back then too. Still WWF at the time. When did that exactly happen? Was that like 2001?
The change? Ooh.
'Cause I noticed that right away that this was they still had the
2002-ish, I would say.
So after
roughly.
WCW was gone, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they were bought over, and then they were shipping over basically certain talents from. That's after the invasion angle. There were still people coming in and out, but I would say that's when I think World Wildlife Foundation sued WWE, so they had to change it over.
Get the F out.
Oh, get the F out. That's the way
for
that
sure.
campaign came.
For sure. I don't want to get too into all that. I just kind of was sure that the show didn't have, that had to be. This show, they still had the F.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely.
The only other thing I wanted to talk about before we go into the first match, and aside from the 20 years later aspect of it, was this the first time Austin and Taker went at it? Because I know that was a big part of the looking of this pay-per-view. They had the poster looked like Austin and Taker were fighting. They kind of were demolishing a city. I know you mentioned that too, Jag, that you thought that was a little different, but
Yep.
I don't believe it was the first time, but I think this was definitely the first like high profile main event with just the two of them.
for the
'Cause
belt.
I know they've locked up 97 like earlier on fatal 4-way triple threat type of scenarios. And maybe like a one-off singles match on Raw or something, but this I believe was like the first really big one-on-one match with the two of them.
Okay, yeah, and we'll get way more into it later, obviously, way down the line in the show. But those two just worked phenomenal together.
Yeah, I loved it. I can't wait to get to that one.
The two of them together is really something special.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Stone Cold had his special little belt.
yeah,
For
the
this
broken
show.
skull, yeah.
I know I didn't see that much, and I liked the little.
That classic.
Which
look.
I actually owned as a kid.
Yeah, did it have the snake skin on the inside? Because I think that's a really nice touch.
No,
very Steve Austin.
I had the little foam one, so
Still.
it wasn't.
Okay, still cool though.
Still awesome, yeah.
All right, so we'll go right into things. I wanted to state, obviously, like I'd never seen this pay-per-view before, so it's cool again to look back at some of the 90s ones. Very good. And the beginning of the show opened with a big promo video only kind of showing Taker and Steve Austin. There was no other matches involved with the opening promo, and I don't know, I thought that was different, but at the same time it kind of builds up the main event even more and focuses in on it. So, and aside from that, they went straight to a match. The main event promo was the only thing, and they went straight into Val Venus versus D'Lo Brown.
That was pretty good.
Residing out of Finland?
Yeah.
Helsinki, Finland, to be exact.
Yeah, what was that about? Is this was for the Intercontinental or the European title?
Yeah. So D'Lo, when he had the European title, he was actually, I remember this a lot, actually pretty well. Now, watching it again, he said originally from Chicago, Illinois, I believe it was.
I think so. Yeah.
And now residing in, and it would change, kind of like my names do. It would literally change to a different part of Europe like every week. Like he would be somewhere else because he was the European champion, and he's like, I'm representing Europe, all of Europe. So that was like his thing. That was pretty cool. I liked it.
Well, I got something to add to it. Like that's one of my favorite belts. A lot of people held that belt, the European title, but that's the one thing I could say about SummerSlams, or it was actually represented very well for a belt. It wasn't just here you go, that's it.
Yeah, the European title was kind of like held in the same regard as like the Intercontinental. Like it meant something.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like back then.
I don't know what it was, but I've always really liked D'Lo Brown too as a kid. Like
I didn't know much about him. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I just knew the name coming into this one. When I saw the name, I was like, that sounds familiar, but I didn't know the whole backstory. But I like how they showed us later in the night, how he ended up getting that belt.
Yeah.
That was cool. But yeah, little promo from Val, kind of weird. Not really saying much, just being...
The typical Val Venus.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to Jimmy Corderas, fellow Canadian on Aftermath TV and Sportsnet up here in Canada. He was the referee for this match. D'Lo's chest protector. Shout out Roman Reigns. Da-na-na-na.
Just no.
Well, yeah, no, D'Lo, he injured his pecs. So he was...
how did they play that off? Like, what did he... I wasn't paying enough attention, obviously,
Don't
to
worry
know how
about
the
it.
pecs...
He had to get the... He had to have it on him.
Yeah, they didn't get into...
You got to protect it. You got to
like
protect the chest.
A huge detail on what the original injury was, but he was trying to stay safe, but also use it as a weapon, as we've seen throughout the match.
We'll get into... The match started with a nice collar and elbow tie-up. I always like to see a classic start to a first match of the show.
Yeah.
Most of the pay-per-views that we look back on at the Look Back, I find usually have good openers. I think we've yet to come across a pay-per-view that's had a really bad opener.
Yeah.
Because, again, I think this was a fine opener. It might not be two major stars, but they put on a good match and got the crowd going. And
Yeah, I agree.
once we get into the second match, we'll know especially even more why it was such a good opener. But, yeah, did you guys think that these two were moving pretty well for their size? That was something I noticed right away. Like, if you were to take these two guys now and put them on Raw, they would be two of the bigger dudes on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, definitely.
And that was not how it was portrayed in this match. So I thought that was... Yeah, exactly. They showed Edge in the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was random.
Very weird, too. And
They called him the Enigma.
Yeah, Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Hardy.
Shout out.
The original Enigma.
And nothing really came of it. I mean, we find out what happened with Edge later, which we'll get to, but nothing really came of it as far as this match goes.
I know that during this time when he was kind of still in the come-ups, he would always just randomly be spotted in the crowd. Like, that was sort of his thing. He was just this strange outsider dude who would kind of be hanging out in the shadows. In the crowd. Yeah, they would do it on Raw and stuff, too.
So he would always just be in the crowd?
Yeah.
Wow. Learning things I never knew on the Pro Wrestling LookBack.
Yeah.
That's always good. Learned a lot about Edge on the last episode, too.
Yeah.
Check that out.
For sure.
SummerSlam 2004.
2004.
From Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Shout out.
Yep.
Only other thing I wanted to talk about aside from the finish of the match was it was a pretty long opening match to start the show.
Yeah,
not in a bad way.
Yeah,
I mean, but it was longer than I would have expected it to be if you showed it to me on paper. So how did the finish go down? Val Venus took the chest protector from D'Lo.
Yeah.
Put it on himself. And then who got involved?
Well, the ref kind of messed old Val up, I want to say.
Well, yeah, you're right.
Jimmy,
Val went to go climb to the top rope, and Jimmy went to stop him, touched him, and made him fall down.
Actually, like, he fully grabbed the leg.
Yeah,
much, I
He
think.
fully pulled him.
And I don't think a ref should be... I
totally agree. Shout out to Jimmy, but yeah, what are you doing?
Like, the athlete shouldn't be grabbing the ref, and the ref shouldn't be grabbing the athlete either. Like,
couldn't agree more.
Fully grabbed his foot, caused him to slip, and...
Get a low blow, pretty much.
Hit the old Jules on the...
The old Balboski there.
Yeah.
Which Jerry Lawler said was, very important to Val.
Yes, yeah, that's actually true. I did catch that.
But yeah, so anyway, we get the DQ because the ref bump happened after Val came down.
Yeah.
Corderas went out, but by the time Corderas got back up, Val attacked him, or how did that all go down?
Yeah, Val kind of just shoved him out of the way.
And then by the time he woke up, then he said it was a disqualification.
Yeah.
Therefore, Val keeping his title.
No, D'Lo.
D'Lo, keeping his title, which is very stupid of Val.
Yeah. He was angry and, the heat of the moment, I guess.
I guess it got to him.
I wanted to talk about one...
I wrote right here, good match, shit finish.
Yeah, it was... I didn't remember the finish to this one. It did catch me a little off guard, too.
Yeah.
But it was a good match. These guys
what were you going to say?
well
Sorry.
together. There was one part in the match, and D'Lo was like going for a power bomb, and he kind of almost dropped Val.
Yes,
but you know what?
I missed it. I had it written down and I missed it.
I didn't look at that as like a screw up. I looked at it as like, these guys have been going hard the entire time, and they're both fatigued, and it didn't look bad. Like, I thought it added to the match.
For sure. It could have been dangerous, but it wasn't as bad probably as it looked.
And I
like how he did a running powerbomb after that.
Yeah, I like how he continued. He didn't just go to something else. He actually went for it again.
Yeah, tried it again.
Came through with the running powerbomb.
Maybe not something that would have happened nowadays.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Probably
definitely.
Not. Probably not. Overall, good opener, I think,
Yeah.
and can't complain much about that match. Do you guys want to move on?
Yeah.
Okay, so next wasn't a match. We had a little backstage segment with Michael Cole and Mankind.
Oh, yes.
Mankind was very upset about Steve Austin destroying his hearse the night before on Monday Night Raw, which we watched a little bit of, which we don't normally do for the lookbacks, but we had some time, so we threw on the go-home show for this and watched, 3/4 of that episode of Monday Night Raw. I see you laughing over there, Jag. What is Austin destroying the hearse kind of getting you?
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
I feel
but,
like...
I got a lot of love for Mankind. He punishes himself a lot.
Especially at this time. I mean...
This is where he's like basically starting to get bigger and bigger.
Exactly. I was going to say that the Raw that we did watch, there was a Hell in a Cell that they had above the ring, and they didn't really tell us why. I know JR and King were kind of looking up, they better be there for a reason because it ain't just an ornament. Well, they had a Hell in a Cell match with Kane and Mankind.
Yeah.
And they mentioned, the last time that we had a Hell in a Cell was with
Foley getting
thrown. So it was kind of crazy to me, to think that that happened not so long ago when they showed this. Like that was still fresh in people's minds. Foley getting the shit beat out of him in that match, because that match is fucking insane. I'd love to go back and look at that pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a Backlash or
It's
Armageddon.
King of the Ring.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that might even be cooler to see some of the other matches as well. So maybe stay tuned for that. Anybody interested?
Yeah. Quick side note on Mick Foley. I know, like Jag was saying, like he was getting more popular with, you know, just taking the craziness that he was taking.
For sure.
And shortly after, this leads to him becoming the first hardcore champion. Yeah, because the hardcore title was not around yet at this point.
At all.
Yeah.
And then, like we talked about on a previous look back, the fact of the hardcore championship being 24 hours, that wasn't right off the bat either.
Not right
No,
off the bat,
no,
no. That was a
not
little
at
later
all.
on.
Yeah, okay.
Now,
So
who's this stupid idiot that did that?
It's Crash Holly, but R.I.P.
R.I.P.
RIP to Crash. But yeah,
But it made it interesting.
definitely.
Mhm.
Pretty good segment, like I said. Moving on. I want to catch you guys off guard here before we get to the next match.
Yeah.
We'll go into it at PW LookBack on Instagram and Twitter. Check us out on both of those. Those are kind of the main two platforms for us. We have some stuff on Facebook. Check us out there. Pro Wrestling LookBack on Facebook. Email is prowrestlinglookback@gmail.com. The website, prowrestlinglookback.wordpress.com. All the content is up on the website as well. We're going to get both the last lookbacks put up there very soon. Like I said, Facebook, we're kind of struggling to figure out what our main goals with Facebook are and see where we go with that. But the main two, at PW LookBack on both of those. Check us out. If you want to check us out on personal Twitters, mine is at Salsa, and Instagram as well, SCELSA.
Yeah, mine is at New School Money.
And Jag, if you want
I
to...
literally actually can't remember mine.
Yeah, Jag's not
Not
too
much on the
into
social media, but
Twitter.
it doesn't matter. Like I said, I just wanted to change it up for you guys, and yeah, we'll go to the next match.
Yeah, probably match of the night, right? I think we can all agree on that. The Oddities versus Kai and Tai.
Fuck no, man. This shouldn't have even fucking been on the card.
Why wasn't this on Heat? There was a lot of references to Heat throughout the show, but why wasn't this match
Yeah,
on Heat?
they shaved fucking Howard Finkel's head on Heat. Spoilers for what's about to come later. But, and then this is on the show? Like, what was this?
Hey, man, like, this is honestly the 80s coming back.
The
honestly,
80s coming back,
You got the
man.
big guys,
Where's
you know?
Hogan?
You got the big guys, man.
Oh, I don't even know where to start, man. It was I was probably laughing the entire match because it was pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, so who was in this match? Like, who are
So-
these guys? We had the Insane Clown Posse ringside.
The rap
rap
or
group
whatever the fuck.
that I didn't even know was around in the 90s.
Oh, that was the height of their I guess whatever popularity they had.
That's crazy. Did
yeah.
not know that.
They were with the Oddities, which you had the guy with the fucking.
I have garbage.
Giant Silva.
Garbage. Yeah. Jesus.
That's all I know.
Giant Silva.
Was this filler or what?
Yeah, but it went longer than I think it should have.
I think that's to give time to people to take a piss.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was for.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the point of this match. A little piss break. And maybe a little, you know,
But it was the second match.
maybe it was a little fun for the like laugh, get a good laugh.
Get a good laugh.
The Attitude Era did have its fair share of
Get
hokey
the guys
shit.
on the show.
Yeah, but it's Vince McMahon and his big guys. You know?
Tie-dye shirts.
But no, honestly, Kai and Tai, they took some bumps. I give them credit for that because they were,
This is the Oriental group.
yeah, they were doing, well, the Team Nike, they were doing most of the work for this match.
Oh, yeah.
How about
Speaking of that.
Yeah, how about the gear on them? What the hell was that?
Street clothes, you know? Like, they didn't even dress up.
Yeah, we
Jean
had
shorts and a Nike hoodie.
Taka Michinoku wearing the Nike tank top
Oh my god.
and cargo shorts, and it looked like, honestly, he was just wearing black boots.
This is definitely
Knee
the
pads, that's it.
downer of this show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't even know what to talk about in the actual match. What about the 5-man spot? They both tried to take the big guy out by his legs, and then two more guys
And he kind of threw them all away.
at the same time.
Yeah.
But they got that big boy up, too. They
Yep.
they suplexed up there.
We almost seen a shoey.
Yeah. By who? Leatherface Cartman?
Leatherface Cartman, yeah.
I don't even know what the guy's name
Leatherface
was.
Cartman.
I think Golga?
Yes, Golga. That's what it was.
Golga?
Yes, Golga.
What the fuck
I-
is Golga?
I don't know.
I've never heard of this guy.
They were a little thing of the Attitude Era, and that was like their only. They were job guys, I guess.
Well, they should have stayed in the 80s, honestly, in my opinion.
How, do you guys think this should have been on the show?
No.
It wasn't needed.
It should have been on Heat.
But you know what?
And what about Luna?
Yeah, Luna Vachon with them. I don't know why, but she was there. And okay, like I'm not gonna defend it, but to play devil's advocate, I guess, like, it made me laugh. I was laughing the entire time, so I, like...
Probably one of the funnier parts of the Pro Wrestling LookBack podcast so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gave me a good... Like, I was laughing the whole match, so
that's true.
Kudos for that, I guess.
Yeah,
And
just really weird, kind of a bad finish, and it was like a
didn't Leatherface...
quadruple choke slam
No, it was
into a quadruple pin.
He pinned everyone, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
he
they
pinned
double
everyone.
choke slammed for like 2 guys each, double choke slammed
And
two
then
other
he-
guys.
And then he did a very
Each.
lazy body splash and
Landed on them in 1, 2, 3. It was kind of very underwhelming.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you guys want to talk anything else about this match? Because I'm
No, please
eager
move
to
on.
move on to the next one.
Please do.
Yeah.
Okay, so Double J, Jeff Jarrett
Oh, fuck.
versus our boy X-Pac, hair versus hair match. And like I had mentioned a couple minutes ago, Jeff Jarrett cut Howard Finkel's hair
Yeah.
on Sunday Night Heat. So Howard Finkel came out to the ring with X-Pac, kind of very heated, very upset
Yeah.
about what had happened.
Rocking the DXT as well.
Yeah, he was an honorary member, as Jerry said.
That was a question I had for you. How about Howard Finkel doing the DX chop?
It was lazy,
with
but it
with
was
the
good.
fireworks. Like he did
Yeah,
it
it was
proper.
He tried.
Yeah, well,
Shout out to
shout out to the Fink.
Fink.
The Fink is
Yeah.
probably one of the biggest, or if not the biggest legend as far as ring announcers go. So
Yeah.
shout out to the Fink. Lots of strikes kind of in the beginning of this match, not a lot of moves. Well, not to say that those aren't moves, but it was very strike heavy, I found at the
Yeah.
beginning, which was good for two small guys like that.
Yeah.
But again, this is kind of a point I had in the opener, but X-Pac looks tiny in this match. And I feel like if you were to bring X-Pac around nowadays and have him fight, he would either fit in or look bigger. Like
Yeah.
if you put him with
Like
a Seth Rollins
height
or a,
wise, I
or
think
a
it would be.
Ziggler or a Dean Ambrose, these type of people.
I would say he's definitely not 205.
No, definitely
He
not.
would be. Yeah, I agree with you. Like he would be with the Seth Rollins.
It
the
really
bigger
shows
guys.
you that 205 would not have been a show back in the day. Like they did not have
Yeah.
that many small guys with characters that could make a show like that. So
Well, the thing is that WCW, they invested a lot into their cruiserweight division. They actually had
they started it. Yeah,
yeah,
you're
that's
right.
where it
The
all-
WCW
They
expert
were-
over here. This is good to get
so-
that perspective.
like, and that's the thing. Like when you came over to WWE, you're not pushed as you're just a little guy. You're just a jobber. That's it. That's how
And-
I felt.
X-Pac, he's not the biggest guy, but he was tall. I guess he was relatively tall, but I still look at him as a lankier guy.
Yeah.
Like
I
even if
agree.
he was there today, like I still look at him as a lankier guy.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's just I feel like he has kind of more the buff, thick upper body that a lot of the guys now have. Like it's
Yeah.
not like he's a giant. I don't know. It's just something to bring up. Nothing major, but I think the fact that this match kept up the pace the whole time was also really good.
Yep.
They didn't slow down, but that's also again their size back then was more the smaller group.
So to be honest, that's where I start to get excited for the pay-per-view, the match.
During this match?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where I'm like, okay, well now I'm gonna pay a lot more attention because this match was
From now on.
actually very like it started the pace wrapped up and you saw
Competitive.
some very athletic shit going on basically, especially with Xbox with the kicks.
Yeah, his kicks are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. How about the nut shot into the post?
Oh yeah, Jarrett launched him.
That was
yeah.
Yeah.
a little much. I don't know. It
Yep.
looked like it really hurt. But there was a good story behind the whole match. And I mean, adding Fink in the beginning with the whole heat thing, I think added to it. Because they had mentioned this stuff on the Raw that we watched before.
Yeah.
But adding the whole Fink thing, I think really changed it in a good way. Aside from the match, I know I had two things to ask Don.
Yeah.
One, I know you pointed out during the show, and I wrote it down, that they had very good commentary for this
Yes.
match.
Yes.
So just JR and King kind of doing their thing anyway. It's not out of the ordinary to have them be above par for commentary, but
Yeah.
is there anything you wanted to speak on that, or more just the
Um,
fact that they did a good job?
I will get into it a little later on in the show because I did have more I wanted to
For
dive
sure.
into on it. But yeah, just a quickly touch on it. Like I just noticed right off the bat, man, like JR, maybe at this time it was just like it felt like very much like a sport, you know, the way he's
Treating it,
announcing.
yeah.
He was talking about cardiovascular condition and stuff like that. Like I just like hearing that type of stuff.
Sure.
It was keeping me interested the whole time.
No, absolutely.
And even through that joke of a match, like he still managed to.
keep you.
I was paying attention to him.
Well, the other thing I wanted to add to it is just that both JR and Jerry Lawler are actually I like how they do the heel and face. They're just actually that good.
Two of the best.
Yeah.
I mean, after listening to Bobby Heenan on the 92 look back we did, I don't know if I can confidently say Jerry Lawler's the best heel announcer, but he certainly is one of the best.
Later on. Later on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, our thoughts and condolences go out to the King with the passing of his son recently.
Yeah.
The only other thing I wanted to ask before we go into the close of the match is Don's thoughts on Double J. I want to know, because I know I wasn't watching at the time. Jag wasn't watching at the time. He was a WCW guy, and you were not a fan of Double J. I kind of want to know why.
I was never into him. So when I first seen Jeff Jarrett, it would have been when he first came into WWF, and he did the whole
spelling out his name.
You
should love that.
Yeah, I do it better.
Yeah. That's part of, you guys share that part of your gimmick together.
Yeah. Well, you kind of said how he's like a counterfeit version of Ric Flair, too.
Yeah,
I see that, but not all of it. To me, he's way more of a Southerner.
Yeah.
Cowboy type.
No. I'm not even saying he's like a Ric Flair ripoff, but I just feel like he always wanted to really be he wanted to be like he definitely idolized Ric Flair. 100%.
Yeah, that
a lot of people did.
A lot of people, yeah. But I'm sure if you asked him who his favorite wrestler is, he's probably going to say Ric Flair. He did the whole strut. He always did the figure four. But
that's key right there.
Not to completely, I'm not going to completely shit on Jeff, because I was a kid in obviously in '96 when I seen him as a kid. Like, I just didn't like him. He was a heel. He was doing his job, I guess, for me not to like him. He was annoying.
Yeah.
His gear was annoying.
But you still don't like him.
He looked like a jackass. So it's just like, I don't like you. You look like a
Do you respect him for what he's done for the pro wrestling industry?
No. For sure, I respect him. He's just not a guy that I would like. In my free time, I'm not watching a Jeff Jarrett match.
That's
you know
fair.
What I mean? But I still respect him for sure.
Yeah, that's a fair
And like
point.
I said, as a heel, he did all the right things by wearing something annoying that stands out because it was different.
Yep.
Especially at that time. So it was like, definitely he did his job as a heel to make me dislike him always.
For sure. Maybe it sounds like we've get him to come around on Double J.
Yeah, he's got the respect.
But we'll go into the finish of the match. Who was he with there? I can't remember the guy's name.
Oh, his two goons. I know one was Midian, who's he's later on in the Ministry of Darkness.
Okay. Yeah, well, they got involved in the match kind of to distract X-Pac, I believe.
Yeah, they tried to.
And then that didn't work.
Failed.
X-Pac managed to find his way into the hands of Jeff's guitar.
Yeah.
With a nice crack on the head, kind of payback for Monday Night Raw the week before, or the 6 days prior. And yeah, that was pretty much it.
1, 2, 3.
Smoked in the head. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, as Jag said. And that's it for that match.
And then he got held down.
Got the old shaven, yeah.
Yeah, got the old shaven. Oh,
everyone came out, eh? They had the headbangers out there. Fink was having fun with it.
Too.
I'll be honest with you. I was wondering what kind of clippers are those, because they were pretty crap. They had to resort to scissors.
And there was hair flying. X-Pac was grabbing the hair, throwing it up, and it was landed on the Fink's head and all over the place. It was pretty funny.
It was actually good. I enjoyed this match.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
I agree. I mean, the match was pretty good. I think it was a good position of it, too, being right after the shit show of a second match.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
To kind of bring people back to their seats and get them focused on what was to come.
Exactly. What do we got next on the card there?
Well, Cash rules everything around me.
Oh, yes. How could I forget about that?
Shout out to Method Man from the Wu-Tang Clan, and shout out to Mike D. Wish you were here to see that, man.
Method Man was loving the DX. He had the whole DX gear on.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just kind of vibing to the track. I know he's a wrestling fan, too, so.
Yeah, it makes sense that he liked DX, too. I feel like that fits.
Yeah.
In a good, that just fits.
Yeah, it was good.
But after they kind of just showed him in the crowd, typical, what they do.
Celebrities.
Yeah. We had another segment with Michael Cole and The Rock.
Classics.
Yeah, aside from The Rock being absolutely fucking on point in this segment, I had a question for you guys that you brought up during the show. Purple IC belt leather. That was kind of weird. Did you know this was a thing? Is this your first time? Do you like it? Do you not?
No, I like it. I like it a lot, actually.
Really?
I like it
just on The Rock?
No, because when... no, I'm not going to... I just liked it. It looked good.
You liked it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it makes you stand out a little bit better, because, like, if you come up to a little bit modern times, Cody changed it from where it was black to white, and definitely it popped.
And it wasn't like too much. Like the current product's cruiserweight belt. It wasn't like that type of purple.
Oh,
it was like,
like a bright purple. It was dark.
Yeah, very
dark
subtle.
purple.
So I like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like back in the times of like Warrior and Rude and these guys, even Shawn Michaels,
It always changed.
they often would change the color change the leather strapping on the belt, especially like with Michaels and stuff. But yeah, I liked it. It was good.
Yeah. How about The Rock telling Michael Cole to shut up? We'll go back to the jabronis ringside.
Yeah, The Rock's great.
Yep.
That was awesome.
Solid promo. It's funny to see Michael Cole.
So young and so different.
Yeah.
So skinny.
In the Charlie Caruso role.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty different. Should we go into the next one, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Match number 4. Mark Morrow.
Oh, Mark Marrow.
Yes.
Mark Morrow and Jacqueline versus Sable with mystery partner. Mystery partner was Edge.
You think you know me?
Yeah, I was. I'll get into it in a sec, but I was very unexpecting. I did not expect to see Edge, especially after seeing him in the crowd in that earlier match. I thought it was very weird for him to come out in this match. But I guess they just wanted to remind the fans that he was there.
Yeah.
So then that they could, I don't know that he was there. I like the fact that they showed the Jacqueline and Sable kind of backstory.
Yep.
That was pretty cool.
Good.
And not something I would have seen prior, so it was nice to know why these two hated each other so much.
Yeah, well, Mark Marrow and Sable used to be a thing. And
in storyline?
Yep, possibly in real life too. Don't quote me on that. I'd have to look into it. I think so. Honestly.
Yeah, he was the one that brought her into WWF at that time, I believe.
So she used to be the manager of Mark Marrow, and like she, obviously, like look at her. She was getting the crowd was like into her a lot more than they were into him, and he would kind of play off of that, which eventually led to him getting rid of her.
In what kind of way? Do you remember? Is it worth talking about?
No, I don't exactly remember. I know they've had a little bit of a feud like going for a while. I don't remember exactly how it went down, but
yeah. Anyway, so we'll go into the match, I guess. Sable wanted to start the match, but Jacqueline was not having that. So Edge and Mark Morrow.
Yep.
Morrow. I can't say it. Anyway.
No, not Marrow. I believe it is.
Morrow. Yeah. So the match kind of had a slow start at the beginning. There wasn't. I don't know. They couldn't decide who wanted to be in. Like, I think Jacqueline tagged in, and then once Sable tagged back in, she tagged out again, and it was kind of just a lot of the hoo-ha from the beginning. But
it seemed like Jacqueline was kind of wanting to dodge Sable too, obviously.
Absolutely. Yeah, Edge was looking good for. They were saying that this was one of the time like his first-ish matches in WWE. I don't want to say it was his first match.
Early on.
Early Edge
stuff,
for sure.
He did a nice crossbody to the outside, man. He went flying over the top rope.
Yes. I actually had
good.
that written down. What is the TKO that Sable did? I didn't know. Was that like a move?
That's actually okay. So that was Mark Marrow's finisher, and she kind of took his stuff.
Because the announcers made a big deal of it.
Like her shirt said "Sable Bomb," which is her version of the power bomb. Like he did that move too. So she kind of
used
took
a lot
things
of his stuff.
from his stuff and made it her own.
I got to be honest. Her opinion, like my opinion, of her changed a lot in this match because I had it written down that she's really not the best wrestler by any means, but by the end of the match, and we'll talk about it, she really changed my opinion. This match was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there.
She did better than I thought. Like you said, the Hurricane Rana was amazing. The Sable Bomb, I don't know if she delivered a Sable Bomb, but I think she attempted at some point. And the TKO. I wanted to point this out just because I thought it was hilarious when JR said it, but when Edge jumped out of the ring and he did that dive and JR goes, "Hello, LaGuardia Airport." That's a good line being in New York City already. Thought that was really cool. But yeah, like I said, she kind of changed my opinion of her in this match. Going like the first minute or so, I was really not looking forward to anything but looking at her.
Yeah.
Which, shout out to her. Looking great in 1998, and I'm sure she's looking just as good now, 20 years later. Yeah. Shout out Brock Lesnar. Don't kill me.
Please.
Not that you're listening, but yeah, good mixed tag match, and overall Edge with the win, kind of.
Yeah, I just wanted to speak on
Edge and Sable together.
Sable for a sec, too.
By all means.
Because, she wasn't known as a wrestler, though. And, I think even at this point, she had probably barely been in the ring at all. So, it was good. It definitely showed, obviously, how, she was very rookie in the ring, but still doing a good job for someone who didn't have that much experience.
Yeah, what I want to add to it, this actually has to be one of the best mixed tags I've ever seen because
I have to agree.
She went after Mark Marrow just like anybody else,
And I feel like this falls perfectly in line with a SummerSlam type of thing because I don't know, you guys know at SummerSlams I find they like to do these, or at WrestleManias they like to do these mixed tags.
and make a big
Yeah.
deal out of them.
And I remember a few SummerSlams that I can recall where I've seen some, mixed tag stuff. So I feel like it made perfect sense. Yeah.
Totally agree, man. I thought, like Jag said, probably one of the better mixed tag matches I've ever seen. And not that I could give you my top 5 mixed tag matches off the top of my head, but this one was definitely good. And the move they did at the end with Edge kind of lifting her up in a wheelbarrow-ish position and dropping her onto Marrow, sorry, was a good finish.
Yeah.
Okay, move it on.
Yeah. Oh, Jag wanted to quickly touch on Edge's ass slapping of Jacqueline.
Oh yeah, he unleashed gave her a little bit of a spanking. I don't think he would be able to get away with that.
A little foreshadowing to the rated R, maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say shout out to the Pro Wrestling LookBack, and I know maybe we have some new listeners, but if you haven't listened to our ECW LookBack, definitely get our thoughts on Edge's pin on what was her name again?
Beulah.
Beulah.
Yeah.
That was
very graphic.
Tommy Dreamer's girl.
Yeah, that was a very interesting roll-up.
So maybe something to foreseeing the future for Edge.
Yeah, it was just a funny little moment in the matchup.
Yeah, I know, definitely.
Have to agree. Should we go move on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we had another segment, which I was gonna say, like, I love backstage segments, but I felt like this show they were too similar. Because I love wrestling in the ring, but I also love a good backstage segment, and I like when they're kind of more creative.
Okay.
These ones I felt like were literally the same thing. It was Michael Cole with a microphone interviewing, and explain to me if I'm wrong, but this seems very 1988, not 1998.
No, well, I feel like whatever from like the 88 stuff, maybe you talk, it kind of
I just mean back then it was more, I would have been more okay if I was watching a show from that far back to know that it was just Mean Gene with a microphone talking to somebody. To me, I felt like they used to do more creative stuff than this backstage, and they weren't pushing the envelope on this show.
I don't know which one you're getting into, so I'll let you get into that, and then I'll give you my...
Well, it's not anyone... This one's just another one with Mankind. This is when Vince comes in with the pep talk.
No, so I thought this was a little more creative. Like, the fact that Vince was involved, and, with the whole things with the weapons, and this was a little bit...
No, you're right. I guess it's... I don't know. I think it was more just the fact that it was Michael Cole every time and it was just an interview.
There was nobody else.
There was no, like... And sometimes we get just things happening, like Mankind walking with intent backstage, maybe with a cameraman following him, not knowing what he's doing. I would have preferred that. And then maybe he bumps into Vince, and Vince kind of says, like, where, like, he just kind of says, we need to change this, and
Yeah.
I don't know. But the segment was pretty good. It was pretty straightforward. Just Vince kind of pep talking Mankind into being able to beat both of them 2v1.
Oh, yeah. That was actually pretty funny. He gave him a silver platter, the weapon.
Vince was really, like, behind him, but also throwing him into the fire, I felt like. You know what I mean? Like, setting him up for failure. For failure, basically.
Yeah, I had it written down, even though, like I said, it wasn't my favorite because they were doing so many of these. I still think this segment was really good.
Yeah. It was funny.
It worked.
Because this was basically a precursor to later on when Mankind actually does win the belt. Vince was pissed.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so we'll go on to the next one. The Lion's Den match. How do we feel about this? Because I can tell you I don't feel very good about it.
No?
No, not a fan.
Why not?
I don't know. I thought this was friggin' weird as fuck, and maybe it was okay because UFC wasn't big at the time, but this would not be flying nowadays. I can tell you that for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think just because of Ken Shamrock's background...
I was going to say, we should probably let people know. Owen Hart versus Ken Shamrock in the Lion's Den match, a.k.a. more or less a cage fight.
Yeah. Submission cage.
Yeah, no knockouts, no pins, just basically submission. Which is interesting because there's not really a lot of matches like that unless it's a submission-only match.
Yeah. But like I said, they were playing more off of Ken Shamrock's character and background. That's
the dangerous man, the most dangerous man in the world.
Like, there was only 2 of these, and he was in both, so it was more so
his match
around him. Yeah,
it's like an Inferno match for Kane, kind of.
Yeah,
something like that of that nature.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I don't know. I just thought this was a really trippy match to have on a show like this. To be honest, It was weird, but I don't know. I just didn't know this happened, man. I'm really stuck. I'm hung up on the fact that this match didn't I don't know. Hey, what else do you guys have to say?
I don't know. I liked it. Like I didn't.
That's it though. Like
no, I enjoyed the match.
I didn't write a lot because like I wasn't a fan. I wrote I'm not a fan.
I liked it because I felt like they were like you said at the beginning of the match, they're wrestling. So you know what I mean? They were both going for the submissions. Like that was the whole thing. They were not
They were doing the amateur kind of wrestling there at the beginning.
Yeah,
which was good.
Which makes sense with Owen Hart's background of the dungeon and whatnot, and they showed a little footage of that.
That's fine. I respect your guys' opinions. I just don't think they were. To me, it looked like the start of a pro wrestling match. Like they looked like aside from the striking, I just saw a lot of pro wrestling moves, and especially towards the end of the match, they were doing like power bombs and fucking normal. I don't know. It was just not my kind of thing, and I just wanted to ask you guys, you being UFC fans and me not being a UFC fan, like would this work today? If they tried to do something like that.
No, because it's hard.
The only way I would want to see this today is if they did a real fight between like Brock and Bobby Lashley or something. That's the only way. I wouldn't want to see like a worked octagon.
This was worked, right?
Yeah. So that's what I mean. I wouldn't want to see this now.
I can't remember the term. I can't remember the term that WWF had at the time. But what was that one where they would box, like legit box?
Oh,
Brawl for All?
Brawl for All, yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about that on another.
Yeah.
I don't know, like
one of our shows.
See, like that stuff, like a lot of people would get hurt, but yeah, like you said, Brock and Bobby, I think they could actually do it, and it would have to be a real fight.
Yeah.
Because
that's the only way I'd want to see it now. But I just feel
that's what I was gonna say, and it's not to take away from what you're saying. It's just that's not what this was. So like technically, you just wouldn't want to see this now then, because this wasn't a shoot fight. So.
Yeah.
If they were to redo it, then obviously it wouldn't be a shoot.
No, because who would you do it with? I just feel like I know you didn't like it, but I thought it just made sense.
Like, let's say like they did it with like Shayna Baszler and one of the other girls that she's friends with, if she feuded with one of them.
Perhaps, yeah.
And it was still worked, and it was.
But like NXT. The only thing is, like you said, UFC wasn't as big back then, so I don't think you could get it wouldn't work.
I don't think you. That's what I mean.
Because perfect example is TNA tried it. Like in the modern era where like UFC was still popular, it was like Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe did it was a worked UFC match basically, and the fans were booing it and they didn't like it, and they were chanting things like "We want wrestling" and stuff. So like now I wouldn't want to see it, even if it was fucking Ronda Rousey and Charlotte or something. Like I just because UFC is so big now, and like we knowing that it's a work.
Yeah,
it can't happen. You know,
like back then I would say estimate like UFC pay-per-view buys were probably like just 30,000 compared to WWE, which was ridiculous amounts. You know what I mean?
Especially like now with it being such a household like thing.
Yeah,
I don't think it would.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't work. But in my opinion, I like the concept of the match.
Yeah,
sure.
I didn't mind it.
Well, I don't want to be all negative the whole time because there was a few things that I did like. Ken Shamrock had kind of a run off the cage, like he put his similar to what you'd see in UFC nowadays. He kind of ran one leg on the cage, jumped off the cage, and punched him, and I thought that was different to add that in. The guys were working hard. I can't take anything away from Owen and Ken. They worked as if it was a shoot fight, and I don't know. I'll give him that.
I like Ken Shamrock's intensity too. I feel like I feel like he always just looked like a real fucking
most dangerous man in the world, man.
I was always bought into Ken Shamrock as a kid, like just his intensity coming into the ring.
Yeah,
how he kind of was hitting his face, and he always did that like in every match too. So it was just he was a guy I always bought into.
For sure, and honestly, the crowd seemed really into it, way more into it than I would have expected.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. And how about I call it the Kurt Angle ankle lock, but Ken Shamrock holding Owen with kind of the Kurt Angle style.
I just held it in there. That was pretty.
He held it on.
He held it on. Like the referee had to jump in there to break it off. But...
And was that how he won? Right, with the tap on the ankle lock.
Yeah, which was his finisher too. So
this is pre Kurt Angle.
Oh yeah.
When did Kurt Angle make his debut?
2002. That's when I think he became the gold medalist.
No, 1996.
No, sorry,
1996.
Yeah, Kurt Angle came in. He was in WWE in like year 2000.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say
late 99, early 2000.
That makes sense.
I wanted to bring up how like
TVs?
Dan Severn was in Owen's corner, and he walked away.
He didn't
towards the end.
Yeah, he didn't throw in the towel.
He was gonna throw in the towel, but then he walked away, realizing oh fuck, I don't think Owen can do it.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
We didn't bring up Dan Severn. Maybe talk a little bit on that, guys, and who he is. And
he's a dangerous fighter. Like he's a legit fighter.
Legit fighter himself.
Same thing as
from where?
He's a UFC fighter, but he did have a little run in the Attitude Era in the WWF. Nothing major,
Oh,
but he
did
did have a little run.
Also,
Early UFC?
Also, he fought in Pride FC, I believe, in Japan. There.
Decent record. Was he a good fighter?
Yeah.
He's pretty well known.
He's
in,
well known.
the
Yeah.
fight community, I would say. Yeah.
Okay, well that's
He's definitely
pretty
looked
cool.
at as a legend of the sport. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
But same thing could be said for Ken Shamrock.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too.
The first person other than Brock Lesnar to actually transition over and actually fight
And do well.
And do well, yeah. I mean,
I-
unless you want, I guess he was before Kurt, so yeah, probably one of the first, or
Yeah.
if not the first. But did you want to talk at all about the old school TV stands,
Yes,
Don?
because I brought that
Oh,
up.
that was funny.
Yeah.
Because when we went to the next match, I noticed that they were moving these old school TVs, like with the big back on a little
Similar to what you'd have kind of in elementary school.
public school. Yeah.
Yeah,
Teacher
the
would
old
bring-
AV card, you
He
know.
had like 4 of them around ringside. I just thought that was an interesting.
And that was for the fans that were watching the UFC style.
Yeah, for the
Lions
fans watching
Den,
the
sorry.
match in the.
Oh yeah, we didn't even list that. Yeah, the
Yeah,
actual line.
it was a different setting, different arena.
Yeah.
No, it was still in Madison Square Garden, just
But it
in a
was in
different part
room?
of the. Yeah.
Oh, okay. At least they kept
That was
everybody
cool,
in the
yeah.
same
Yeah.
place. Because I'm sure, I mean, I've never been to Madison Square Garden, but I'm sure they have like auditorium style rooms.
Yeah, yeah.
Worked in an arena myself, so I'm sure that they have that kind of stuff there.
I would hope.
Yeah.
So
was
wait,
go.
what would you rate this match out of like I don't know 5? Did you Did you not like it at all? Like any of the wrestling in it?
Out of 5?
Yeah.
Ooh. 2?
Yeah. You just didn't like it.
No, it wasn't. The 2 isn't the
wrestling.
Yeah, the 2
was more
isn't me
just the-
rating like the work
Yeah.
of Owen and Ken. It's more like the idea to do this.
Yeah.
But at the same time, not watching the show in 1998, like
Yeah.
not being a wrestling fan, it's hard to put myself in those
Yeah.
exact
It's
same
definitely.
shoes. And not being a huge UFC fan, I don't know.
Yeah.
And like I said, UFC was different back then.
Yeah. Yeah. For
And
sure.
I don't think people would have looked at it the same way I'm looking at it now,
Yeah.
knowing how big UFC's become.
Yeah. No, it's good. I like that point of view. I like to hear your point of view on it.
Yeah, that was a good point of view there.
Thanks. Yeah. So we'll go into another segment. I told you
Segment number 7. or
another
whatever the hell
Michael
we're at.
Cole segment. This one amazing. Like I said, they're not bad.
Yeah.
They're just very samey.
Yeah.
This one being with Stone Cold.
Yes. I
Kinda-
liked
he
it.
kept
Short and sweet.
Yeah, I
man.
was just gonna
Austin
say.
knows what the
Very
fuck he's
hyped
doing.
up. Yeah, I gotta say it was very good. Like,
And
Yeah.
if you notice, like
Doing
little
his thing, really.
minor detail of it, and it's a common thing in Austin promos. I don't know if you guys will pick up on it too, but like the zoom in, they're always right up close.
Yeah.
When he starts getting into it, they go right in, and it makes you feel more.
Look at Director Don over here. I
Oh,
like
yeah,
it.
yeah, Hollywood.
yeah,
Don.
no, that's very
Hollywood
good.
Don.
Makes you
busting
feel
out
like
the-
more personal. You know what I mean?
No, I totally know what you mean.
they get right in his face. So I like that. I noticed that. That was cool.
Good point, man. Good point. I had a question kind of for both of you.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much for Jag. You tell me, because I know, like we said, you were more of a WCW, not watching it back then.
Yeah.
But hey, don't look at my paper too much here, Jag. These are questions for you guys. Got to keep this stuff hidden. This is how we
I
keep
need
the
my
show
glasses.
at PW LookBack. Check it out. But was Stone Cold? Could you confidently, or would you confidently say in 1998, as a pro wrestling fan, was he your favorite wrestler?
Stone Cold's always been my favorite wrestler. I'll be honest.
But you didn't know who he was at this time.
Well,
you just
no,
knew
not
him
at
as
that time, but like
the
watching
Hollywood
it now,
Blondes.
like watching it now, but even throughout the later years of the Attitude Era, he's always been pretty good.
For sure. Did
What-
you have a favorite that you can think of while Don thinks from WCW in 98, 99?
That's a pretty
Kevin,
good one, actually.
Kevin Nash. I know you're a big
Kevin
Kevin Nash
yeah.
fan. So
Yeah, I would say, yeah,
Probably
Nash, Rey Mysterio.
okay.
There's too many. Okay, I'll be honest. There's too many.
Yeah, no, I just mean there had to be somebody that you were
Yeah, Kevin Nash
more
was one
excited
of
to see every Monday than
Yeah.
others.
my Ric Flair.
Don?
Yeah, I was gonna say like I mentioned earlier, like during the Attitude Era, I didn't always watch week to week, and I obviously didn't get to see every single pay-per-view live as they were happening. But no, I was definitely an Austin fan. I don't know if I would say he was my favorite because I don't know. I guess as a kid, I was in just he was placed as like he's the star of the show. Like he is the fucking
Yeah.
you know what I mean. You always know it was just a thing. He was
Roman
always
Reigns, kind of.
He was always a big deal from when I started watching. No, I would not compare
No,
it to Don't do that.
Please do not ever do that.
I just meant from the he's the star aspect.
No, it's not even comparable. But no. Just,
I know what you mean, though, from the fans' perspective,
Yeah,
not from the owner's perspective.
Yeah. So, yeah, he was definitely one of my favorites, but I always liked a lot of just different guys, man. Like, random not to say they were my favorites, but like I was actually into these guys like D'Lo Brown. I always enjoyed fucking watching. Not like he was always an active wrestler, but Shane McMahon. Like I was a big fan of these just random shit.
Really? I'm surprised to hear you say Shane McMahon. Oops, sorry
Oh,
about
really?
that, guys.
No, Shane McMahon's he's always been one of my. I always just liked him as a kid. He did all the cool, crazy stuff.
True that. Jake, anything else to say about the Stone Cold Steve Austin and his little straight to the point segment backstage with Michael Cole?
It was like straight to the point. It was actually really good, quick. I liked it. It was one of those quick ones. Like I think it was like under like 45 seconds. I think.
Probably, yeah. I wouldn't. Yeah, you're probably right. I wouldn't doubt that. Okay, we'll go into the next one then. Tag team title match. No holds barred. Mankind versus You Better Call Somebody. New Age Outlaws. Two of my least favorite pro wrestlers, I have to be honest.
Sorry to hear that.
2v1 match. Mankind, again, like I said, New Age Outlaws. Mankind kind of left on his own because Kane was not there due to kind of Steve Austin beating him up on Raw. Or just him not deciding he didn't want to show.
Yeah, he didn't want to be his partner.
Yeah.
Okay. Quick start to the match. Weapons right away was something that I had written down.
Yeah, they got right into it.
They got right to the point with that. Mick Foley held his own. How about the steel bowl to the back by Billy Gunn?
Yeah, that was unique.
That was a different weapon.
Never
choice.
seen that before.
Yeah.
Being a ex-cook or past cook myself, I'd never seen somebody use a steel bowl like that. It was a rough match and to be expected with Mick Foley and Mankind.
He didn't have much of an advantage. Like I guess the hardcore aspect, you think it kind of helped.
Mm-hmm.
That's any moments he did have was definitely with weapons, but he was taking a lot of shots.
Yeah.
The whole time he just couldn't seem to get one up on the two of them.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. I wanted to talk about JR again.
Yes.
Just commentary stuff. Another little thing. This is a combination of JR being awesome and another thing where you wouldn't hear nowadays. $1 for every concussion that Mick Foley's had.
I'm glad you brought that one up. That was a good line.
It is. It's a great line, but if you think about it, that is not something that they would say nowadays. You would not be talking about how many concussions somebody has and the fact that they're still taking, brutality in the ring. And that's more come along, I think, with stuff like the NFL and CTE and all the concussion studies that have been done from the 20 years since this pay-per-view took place.
Yeah, to be honest, Mick Foley is one of those ones that probably definitely had a good few of those.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
For sure, because he's gotten some bumps.
Yeah.
Like, even in this match, I believe he got a couple bumps there.
Yeah, taking a lot of headshots throughout the match.
Yeah, he took a couple pans to the head, couple chairs. No, absolutely, and it was a good line. I just, like I said, it was not.
It won't fly today.
No, that is something that
in 2018 that don't fly.
No, they're not going to be pointing out concussions by any means.
Oh, no.
But it was a really weird finish. It was kind of quick. This match was not. I mean, I don't know if they were just keeping New Age Outlaws strong and kind of didn't want to have them go too long, 2-on-1. I'm not even really sure what the final move, whatever New Age Outlaws finisher is, probably was the final.
Oh, it was
because I was looking down writing.
A pile driver.
Yes,
exactly what it was.
Okay, so
onto
the tag belt.
Oh, it was onto the belt.
Yeah, onto the belt.
Okay, well I missed that and I didn't write that down, so that's good to know because I was kind of more shocked that it was so quick. I thought maybe they were trying to protect the New Age Outlaws. Like I said, I maybe not have them go too long in a 2v1 match.
Yeah,
especially where they don't have to tag each other. But if it was onto the belt, that makes kind of a big difference.
Yeah, the pile driver onto the belt. Yeah.
But it's
with an assist also too from Road Dogg pushing Mick Foley, and it was like it's one of those like devastating looking pile drivers. I don't think that would fly today.
Yeah, they definitely beat Mick Foley's ass.
What about the spot in the match with the chairs, the two chairs set up?
Yes.
Open.
Yeah, chair bump. I had that written down. It was a rough one. I don't know how to explain it. Very PWG-esque kind of tower of chairs into it, right?
Honestly, Mick Foley, the man of steel.
I think this was his prime of taking.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Bumps. Like I know he took a lot of stuff in ECW early career, but this was like big stage bumps.
There was the time where The Rock just beat the shit out of him with a chair.
I was gonna bring that
Holy
up.
shit!
That's
like,
I'm
that
sure
was
most
the
of our
brutal.
listeners, if you're listening to this show, I'm sure you've seen that, at least clips of it.
I can't wait till we get to that. That
was an interesting one.
It was definitely the prime of him taking these kind of shots.
So we had the Road Dogg and the Billy Gunn, the ass man. We had them put Mick Foley into a dumpster.
Poor Mick Foley.
Yeah,
Throwing him away like
At
trash.
the end, they kind of shut the door, and then
To our surprise, Kane.
Pops out of the dumpster.
That caught me off guard.
yeah, very different. But then to me, it kind of made more sense as
Yeah.
to why he didn't show, as to why they lost the belts.
And did you notice the fact of, so throughout the night, Mick Foley was, I don't have my hammer. Kane had the hammer.
Oh, see, I missed
yeah,
that
actually,
too.
Good one
Yeah.
there.
And I associate the hammer so much with Triple H, but I guess
right.
at this
Yeah,
time
this
it wasn't. So that's why I didn't pick up on that. But
And Kane used it,
I thought
basically.
Kane coming out and being in the dumpster made my, like, if I were to rate this match out of 5, that happening bumped it up 1 star.
Yeah,
For me, because it kind of completed the story.
exactly.
I felt very unsatisfied when, not just because I don't like the New Age Outlaws.
Yeah.
I think it felt like an unsatisfying end to the match. But Kane being there and explaining why he didn't show, and maybe this
The hammer
explaining
thing.
us the hammer thing, and explaining to us, like, this is why we're switching the belts. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? This is why they're losing the belts, that kind of stuff, if you look at it from a booking perspective. The only other thing, again, JR just kind of closing us out this segment with, damn him.
Yeah.
Damn him.
I thought it was funny too how the Outlaws, after Kane gave the hammer to Foley, like hit him with the hammer, you seen them kind of running,
Scurry
getting
away.
out of there as quick as
Oh,
possible
yeah.
because they wanted no part of Kane.
Yeah, they didn't want to act like they were trying to help Kane there at all.
And then Kane basically takes the dumpster somewhere,
Yeah.
Yeah.
pushes it backstage, but who knows where.
Yeah. All right, so next match?
Yeah.
Yeah. Next match, Triple H versus The Rock.
Yeah, probably my favorite match on the card.
Yeah, probably everyone's too.
You think?
In a ladder match,
I
to
do.
be exact.
Yeah.
Yeah, ladder match
For
for the Intercontinental Championship. Should we get it to a rating, or should we talk about it and then I'll give you my rating?
Yeah, let's talk about it and then we'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this match was fucking amazing. I want to point out at the very beginning, because I thought it was a really cool stat that JR had. Triple H 29 and The Rock 26.
Yeah.
So both of them in their 20s. Kind of
Yeah.
cool to think we're watching a match with 2 legends like that in their 20s,
Yeah.
whereas now they're in their 40s. So
It's true,
it's a little different.
Time flies.
yeah, seriously.
Yeah, jeez.
What about the old band there playing Triple H out to the ring? The DX boys.
Thanks for bringing that up, because I had like 2 pages of notes and almost didn't talk about that. So.
that lead singer. I don't know. He just, to me, he looked like a stoner, like just a stoner.
Yeah, he
guy
looked like he burned a quick one out back or some fucking
before
thing.
before he played the set.
Yeah, thank God Don brought this up, because I have some words to say. We all know Triple H is not my favorite wrestler. I got to give him his dabs in this match, and we'll talk more about it at the end of it.
Yes. A round of applause for the man himself, the game, Triple H, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, finally we've got Nick to show some love.
Like I said, I will give him his dabs, but first I gotta give him,
Oh, here we go.
Okay, so of all the people that are gonna get a custom live entrance, I think Triple H has to take the cake for having more of these than anyone. I feel like I've seen him come to the ring with a live band playing his music more than any other wrestler by far. And I mean, we could dive into that, but I just thought I'd bring it up. I just basically wasn't surprised.
I think this is an interesting one. This is before he's with Stephanie, I believe.
Yeah, long before.
So-
Oh yeah,
Long before.
This is yeah.
still
Another
just getting the push.
Yeah. DX was over at this time, and he was like the leader.
For sure. It wasn't as much me pointing out the fact that he doesn't deserve all these live things. When I seen it, I was like, I feel like this guy's had a lot of live performances between Motorhead and this.
Yeah.
And I know it probably wasn't the only time that DX did, or the DX band, did a performance for DX.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it's, you know what, like at the end of the day, I have it written down here as well. Like he's probably got the most, but at the end of the day, they're all just having fun and they're putting on a performance. So it's not that bad, and it was cool. You know what I mean? Triple H was going crazy.
In the entrance, right?
Smashing the cymbals
what
and
about
lifting up the guy on his
Before that, what
shoulders.
about him, rocking out, waving the hair, getting on the mic and screaming like lyrics to the song too.
Yeah,
That was hilarious.
He was hyped up for this
Yeah.
match.
He
He was
was
definitely
ready.
in the zone before this match started.
It's good.
Yeah. Well, guess we'll talk. I had, like I said, I had kind of 2.5 or a page and a half of stuff, so I wanted to talk about the entrances.
Yeah, the Rocks.
The Rock's very slow-mo kind of entrance to start off. Different, you know what I mean? What did you think about that, Jag?
I liked it because when he finally got down to the ladder, climbed up the ladder there, that look, that The Rock always does, usually on the apron.
He did it on the ladder.
Yeah,
Did it on the ladder with the belt.
Like I remember when I said to you guys, I was look at that visual. Like that's what I said.
Director Don coming in with the visuals again.
Back again, yeah. I got some movies in the works, but yeah. Anyway,
coming out with the Nation of Domination, kind of just Mark Henry.
Mark Henry, yeah.
Heel Rocky at this point, $1,000 shirt, $2,000 shoes.
Yeah.
Very suave Rocky.
I like the cargo shorts. I like the whole getup. It kind of suits him.
It worked, and maybe he was ahead of the time with this whole trend of guys not wearing socks.
For sure he was, man.
Well, speaking of it, I'm kind of barefoot right now.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's hot in the studio, and nobody can tell.
That's okay.
I thought The Rock had a lot of intensity coming to the match, coming to the ring. And then the two of them before the bell rang, I could just feel the intensity with the two of them. It was heated, and I was ready to see these two go at it before the bell even rang.
For sure.
So we'll go back into the beginning of the match. How do you feel about Triple H's gear?
I loved it. I said that to you. Like, I remembered the color. I've seen this match like several times too. So it's like embedded in my head. I know that
you remembered.
Yeah, we're big gear guys here on the.
We talk about it a lot on the Look Back. It's if you can put the extra effort in, it makes a difference. It's not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Throughout the years, he's had quite a few different outfits.
Oh, he's evolved the character in the right way, I think, which is a good thing to see. You know what I mean?
And at this time, it was a different looking Triple H. I thought that look, the gear that he had was like very suiting to.
Yeah, very very similar to Edge.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If you put them back to back, without looking at the face, you would think
he was walking away. And I said, "How much does he look like Edge there?" It's kind of weird.
I think they might have waited to
put him and Edge together as a tag team, and who knows what could have happened, right?
Yeah,
maybe a little less for Triple H, but than what did happen. But what's a small point that we should bring up? How about the yellow ladder?
Yeah, classic. I like seeing
little
that.
Different, right?
It's cool.
Throwback to the Razor Ramon, which I think was orange.
Yeah.
Not that this is a big deal, but
no.
The story they told going into the match was really well, but not only that, the story in the match.
Yeah.
The wrestling match itself had great story, and the isolation of the body part was something that I liked as well. But
I wanted to add that the promo for the build-up of this was pretty good. There, you see Rocky hitting Triple H in the back of the leg, one of his legs there with the belt.
Yes,
and it was a hard hit.
Yeah. They seem to do promo stuff, not better, but just as good. That's something that I feel WWE has never really fallen off.
Yeah. Sorry, no.
No. I was just gonna say that they haven't fallen off with over the years.
Yeah, and I like how they showed the other matches like in the promo.
Yes,
it showed like just how.
Yeah, because I asked you, was this
even
the first time?
The build-up, like what was it? Fully Loaded.
Fully Loaded. Yeah, they had like a 2 out of 3 falls match, and like the tie, Triple H was about to win, and the time had expired, and The Rock got to retain his belt because of that.
They did a very good quality there. You know what I mean? I like that.
Yeah,
I like when there's a build-up for a match,
and you want to see it even more, which is kind of the whole point. So.
And like obviously, I like to see. I think we all can agree, like a ladder match when it makes sense. It's not just like, oh, here's a fucking ladder match.
It's ladder match month.
Surprise! Yeah.
Let's our next pay-per-view ladder match.
Yeah,
like
TLC and stuff like that. No,
yeah,
I know what you mean. It's way better to have it when it's needed.
It made so much sense. Such a long build and heated feud.
I just want a stairs match, okay? Leave it as that. Just stairs.
And kind of back to what we talked about before. It's with the Hell in the Cell on Raw. The ladder match with Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon was still fresh in people's minds. Like, this wasn't something that was and they didn't do ladder matches all the time. Like you said, it was only when it was needed. So like they're talking about previous ladder matches, and they're talking about Shawn and Razor, which I thought that was kind of cool to know that was still fresh in people's minds at that time.
And relevant too, right?
Yeah. And kind of back to what I was saying before about isolating the body part, I thought that was really good by Rock. Not to take away from Rock's wrestling, but maybe that's not something he always focuses on, and he did a really good job of isolating that knee, and not only with wrestling moves and holds, but using the ladder
to
tell the story.
He targeted the shit out of that knee. Like, he got out of the ring, got a chair, and started beating the shit out of it. While it's locked in the ladder there, just beating the shit out of it.
Yeah, and I know Triple H had a chance to get his knee, his patented high knee.
He did get it in there before.
He got it in before this happened, which I did want to stake because I love that move.
Yeah, that's a cool move.
And it was just great selling by both of them in the match.
I was going to ask you this because I know you just brought up how Rock, you don't typically like see that from him, but like maybe you're probably used to seeing Rock as like a babyface too, right?
Oh, majority of it, yeah.
So like him as a heel really
he did more of that stuff.
Yeah, because this is what he basically took over the nation, basically.
I'm looking forward to going back and watching more early Rocky. Even earlier than this, maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Early stuff would be cool for me to look back at. But like I said, great selling and a beautiful catapult onto the ladder outside of the ring. One of my favorite moves in all of pro wrestling. I don't know why, but just works.
Yeah.
Triple H with a nice jump off the ladder, kind of onto Rock climbing the ladder.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I think jump off the top rope, onto Rock.
It seemed like kind of a far distance, too, for a guy like Triple H to do that move. So I thought I was pretty impressed by that, yeah.
Yeah, I was really impressed by the creativity in the bumps that these guys had in this match.
Glad you brought that up, because that's one of the reasons I love this match.
Yeah, very creative. They don't... I don't even know how to explain it. That creativity probably is the best word. They just found a way to do moves that included the ladder that weren't pointless.
Yeah. See, this is all the reasons like you bring up. It's the shit why I love this match.
Yeah.
It's because
I noticed it.
Yeah, and that's wicked that you did. Like I'm glad that you did, because it's like, fucking, you normally see ladder matches with we're accustomed to like the high flying crazy shit. Somebody's got to take a big spot, but when you have two guys, bigger guys, heavyweight type guys, Rock and Triple H, they have to find a way. They really found a way to use the ladder as a weapon. You know what I mean?
Well, I wanted to add this to it too. Is that how? Like, look at it this way: The Rock and Triple H are not known for ladders.
Yeah, exactly.
Even like before this, or even more further in their career, they're not known for ladder matches, which is pretty interesting. I had to point that one out.
I'm happy that you brought that up, Chag, because that was one of my big things coming into the match. I was really curious to see how Triple H and The Rock would do in a ladder match, and to bring that up is kind of one of my major points of the night. Is I think this was the first time I saw Triple H in a ladder match. And I know maybe it was his first, but I don't mean that. I mean me seeing a ladder match that included Triple H. I'm trying to think if I had seen one.
I think so, too, because I don't think he's done anything from then. Like, he's done street fights, everything else.
Is there one that you can think of, Don, that happened
I know,
after or from?
I know later on there was, but he's typically, no, you're right. He definitely hasn't been in a lot. I know him and Sean won the tag belts. It wasn't a ladder match, but a TLC.
Oh yeah,
match.
yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
That was like years later though.
Yeah,
but
like,
still,
like second DX run.
Yeah,
06
second DX,
type.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, 07-ish around there. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to bring up the fact that I had never seen a Triple H ladder match.
Yeah, and that's what I
Or
loved
The
about
Rock.
it.
The Rock of all guys,
yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. Like I said, really creative with the bumps, and I thought that was a good thing for them to do. How about Rock, again, getting very creative and using the people's elbow kind of on the ladder?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Just a lot of the stuff he was doing with, like I said, like the way that they were using this ladder as a weapon. It wasn't to climb up and jump off, and they were doing a lot of hit with the ladder, like Jag had brought up earlier, where Triple H's knee was in the ladder and The Rock took the chair and gave I don't know how many, maybe 5 or so shots. Like, and they were just hard hitting every shot.
The ladder was, like, I gotta say, also, I had to list this one. They were very cheap on the budget there, too. You gotta look at it.
But I thought that made it so much better.
Because they didn't have a million ladders lying around the whole thing. They had literally, I think, 1 or 2 ladders.
2 maybe,
That's what I liked about it. Like, there wasn't 8 ladders. It was
set up for them pre-match, all around the ring.
Yeah, the ladder's beat up, and it's just, like, going
a
through
ladder.
the shit. Yeah, it was wicked. What about the one spot where The Rock, he took the ladder, placed it on the barricade and on the steps, and then he threw Triple H's knee on top of that.
Yeah, that was a very good one.
That was
again
wicked.
with the isolating of the body part
and the usage of the ladder again too, like just wicked stuff they were doing.
Not that these guys needed to, but I feel like they definitely, probably Triple H, because I know how much he's a pro wrestling deep fan he is down, deep down. I feel like they definitely watched that Razor Shawn match to get ideas.
Oh yeah,
and
you gotta. Well, that's the thing. You gotta
the
try.
usage of the ladder.
You gotta try to one up it in your own way. Not one up it completely out of history, but one up it in your own way.
For sure, and seeing this match kind of makes me understand people going so bonkers for the tag team matches to come.
Yeah.
In the next 4 years after this, because they were so different. Not that they were that much better.
Yeah.
They were just way different. It was more of the jumping off and the flips and the stuff that people hadn't seen before. So that kind of puts it into perspective as well.
I think I just think this match like definitely stands the test of time with the style.
Yeah, man, I
think
can confidently say that I think this might be one of my favorite ladder matches of all time.
Like
now.
that's why going into it, I kept saying like, man, I was so excited to watch this match.
Yeah.
In particular.
No, this match was really really good.
And then you gotta also think about it like this, guys, because at this time, Rock and Triple H weren't main event WWF title holders
yet,
and they were on the way there. And the Intercontinental, I want to talk about how the Intercontinental title was like. It was so prestigious, co-main event.
Oh yeah,
you got these two guys, on the race to the top, basically feuding for this title.
I feel like that title's on its way back there in 2018.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Compared to 2015.
Yeah, definitely. No, but I think like Rock and Triple H, you could tell the way the match went. They were both definitely trying to steal the show and throw it all out there.
Yeah, and like I said, being 29 and 26, why not young pups that going out there and doing their thing in the wrestling industry, you know what I mean? It's good stuff. Should we get to The Rock showing some ass? But
the full moon.
Triple H giving him a yank down the ladder, but I know you're going to say something as well, Jag. What was that?
Oh, yeah, no, what was it? Like, fuck.
Oh, it's okay, man. It's okay. The pedigree on The Rock as well. It kind of both men down after that.
Yeah. The Rock got busted open, too, throughout the match.
Yeah, I don't know where that happened. Was that on the ladder outside the ring somewhere?
I think it was outside
the catapult,
ring,
potentially?
Well, no, because The Rock catapulted Triple H.
Okay, yes.
But I think it was definitely a shot to the head. Like, he was thrown into the ladder, something like that.
Yeah, so basically we got Triple H hitting the pedigree on The Rock. They were both kind of down, and I was like, I don't know if Triple H got enough time to get up there.
Yeah.
The Rock kind of crawls over to the edge of the apron area to pull himself up. Mark Henry gets him with the smoke bomb.
Oh, yeah, the little
powder, the baby powder. The salt in the eyes. Shout out to Mr. Fuji.
Yeah.
Bringing it back old school style. But Triple H definitely capitalizing on that. The Rock capitalizing on that. Going up to the top of the ladder, only to have China come in behind him with the low blow.
It was a hard, stiff low blow.
Very, yeah. Stiff is the right word to use. But she hits him with that. He goes down. Triple H slowly makes his way back up to the ladder with The Rock kind of struggling to catch him, and Triple H wins the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah.
The DX comes out and celebrates
with them, yeah.
Yeah, extremely.
What about the reaction of the crowd, too,
when
he grabbed the belt?
They were kind of happy.
Loving it.
Oh, the crowd rose. They got off their asses.
I think that people were still not fully behind Rocky yet, right? He was still a heel at this point.
Yeah,
I mean, people liked him.
Booed the fans booed him a lot. Like, he was that heel,
That's good. I mean, it shows that he knows how to have that versatility.
For sure.
Obviously, we know what was to come after that, but good on him.
Well, was it like he was booed as Rocky Maivia?
Yeah.
So he just kept on going with that ego. Hey, I'm The Rock, and
you're gonna
everybody.
like me.
Fuck everybody. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know?
All in all, I think the story they told was fucking amazing.
Very good.
Just a well put together, like we said. The word of the match, I think, if we're gonna have one, is creativity.
Yeah.
Very well done.
How about afterwards the home video footage?
Oh, before we go there, I just wanted to know,
of course,
to list this. Like, nowadays, you see a referee always holds the ladder. Then
at the end of the match?
No, the referee holds the ladder while the guy's climbing up. Nowadays, you see that the referee's always holding.
That's not something that I picked up on. I'm going to be looking out for that.
Yeah, I kind of caught that because nowadays I feel that the belt's a lot higher.
I agree with that. I think the ladders are definitely taller.
But they didn't hold the ladder. These guys would be up on there. That's some
the ref,
dangerous shit.
In this match, he actually got up on the ladder and raised Triple H's hand.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was cool
that's pretty sweet. I did not. I didn't know that. Yeah. But overall, like I said, a really good match. I think we were all big fans of it, and
for sure,
something we would definitely go back and watch again.
So you were saying back to the backstage footage.
Yeah, they kind of showed us they had some writing on the bottom of the screen, home footage only. Is that like a VHS only type thing?
Yeah, exactly.
So once you buy the pay-per-view afterwards on VHS for a home copy viewing, then you get these little...
Well, if you're bored after 2000 and I would say 2008, you should before that you should be fine with a VHS. You should know what a VHS is.
Yeah. Any of our younger listeners, VHS obviously was the tapes we used before DVDs and before digital.
Yeah.
When it was a more simpler analog.
That's where Blockbuster got out of business.
Yeah. But The Rock was pretty mad. He gave a promo backstage, but it wasn't. I don't know. I don't want to say it wasn't too heelish, in my opinion. He was kind of accepting the fact that he had lost and telling Triple H that he'll be back to get his title.
Yeah.
Kind of babyface promo, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought when he said like payback's a bitch, what kind of hinted that like he was gonna come back with something underhanded to try and get the title back, maybe.
For sure, with that line, payback's a bitch. You're
Yeah.
right. I just mean it wasn't like he was freaking. I don't know how to explain.
Well,
it.
he was
seemed
pissed off. He told the doctors wanted to check him out, and he's like, "Get out of here, get the hell out of here. I don't want your help." Like he was just up. Yeah, he was upset. I don't know.
I see what you're saying, and you're kind of changing my opinion. I think it's more just I'm used to very
like
hardcore heel
Yeah.
reactions, and it wasn't. He was almost more accepting of of that. But yeah, do you guys want to give me a rating on the match? I can give you mine.
It's 5 out of 5 for me. I
Yeah.
love it. Like I've seen this match several times, and it's up there for me.
5 out of 5, because even though this is the first time watching it, it was a very good quality match. Very like we said, innovative.
Yeah,
There was a lot of different things, and plus, Rock and Triple H are one of my favorites. You know what I mean? I have a lot of favorites. There's too many to list, but they did very well. Very well.
yeah. I mean, I don't know why I always jump to go to 10-point ratings, and I had it listed kind of at a 9 out of 10. But I guess if we're gonna go 5, I'd have to go 4.5, 5.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure if I want to give it a 5-star. Maybe watch it again.
Okay, fine.
Only seeing
4
it
and
once.
3/4.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
you know,
there we go.
I'm getting too technical with it. My 10-point scale on a 5.
I just feel like for me, it's like this stands the fucking test of time, really.
That it does.
So yeah,
Like we said a million times, creativity levels were off the chart in this match.
yeah, it's definitely one I would recommend for anybody listening to go and watch. If you like ladder matches, if you like Rock or Triple H, definitely watch this one.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Should we get to the main event?
Yeah,
You think it's time?
we're on the highway to hell. Yeah, so we got Undertaker versus Stone Cold, who is the champion. Undertaker being the #1 contender,
Yeah, main event of the evening.
and a good one at that. I enjoyed this a lot. I've seen this match in the past, but looking back at it, it was fun for me.
Yeah. Undertaker's entrance at the beginning was kind of weird. I'd never seen.
Oh yeah,
Much
Oh,
of-
that's one of the cool entrances.
Yeah, I don't mean weird in a bad way. I just weird for like an outsider like me looking back at these shows because I have not seen. I don't know if I've ever seen a full match with this version of Undertaker. I've seen, early Undertaker with the purple gloves and that kind of gimmick, and then obviously 06, and then Badass, and then back to Dead Man. But this is kind of the area that I
I would
missed.
say the Ministry. This is Ministry era.
Yeah.
Or pre-Ministry era.
Pre-Ministry, but kind of more gothic-y rather than
yeah.
Dead per se.
Yeah.
Kind of a different type of music for him as well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought it was a good one, too.
Yeah,
Like-
I always enjoyed this one too.
Yeah.
So, how did you guys feel about this match overall before we get into specifics?
Well, I didn't remember it like piece by piece. Like I said, I have watched it a few times in the past, but like I was thinking off the bat, I was like, man, these guys got like not like they can't, but they got to follow one hell of a
Oh, hell
match
yeah.
from right before.
Oh, hell
And I think like
Yeah.
they honestly delivered in their own like it wasn't obviously two different style of matchups, but they delivered nonetheless.
Austin and Undertaker?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
sure.
definitely agree. Yeah, I thought it was really good too. I'll give you. We'll talk about our star ratings at the end, like we do. But anything that stood out for you, Jag? Were you excited about these two kind of iconic characters coming and clashing?
Yeah, you know what? Undertaker and Steve Austin, they're always good. What stood out in the match is that they're with back and forth quite a bit,
Yeah, that's true. There was a lot of back and forth action.
Yeah. Before we go right into that, I wanted to talk about how sweet was that glass.
Yeah, that's what I was
Oh,
gonna say.
yeah,
for
that
Austin.
entrance. Oh, yeah.
I know you even said, Jag, you're like, oh, that's cool. What's that? And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's
And then it
gonna
breaks.
It's about to break.
Boom.
Glass shatters, Stone Cold's entrance music comes out, and I don't know if there's ever been a wrestler that was over like Stone Cold.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even need to be said. It's
Yeah,
not like, I mean, everybody knows, anybody listening to this knows how popular Stone Cold was and is, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
The fans loved this motherfucker back then. It was
Still do.
good to see. But aggressive start, as per usual, with Austin, a lot of strikes and stuff like that. I thought there was a really good use of the hammerlock by both guys.
Yeah, especially in the beginning from Austin, right?
Back and forth between, similar to the match like we looked back at last time with Benoit and Orton. They really showed the wrestling aspect before they got into it.
Yeah.
And I like when they start matches that way. It's very old school and very up my alley as far as that goes. But again, I like to ask you guys this just because I like to keep questions mixed into all of our little points of the show. But do you guys have a more of a favorite between the two?
Undertaker. I'm always,
overall or at this time?
just in general,
You've been a Taker guy.
Yeah, I've always been a Undertaker fan. Like, basically, like, because he's the one guy that, like, he gives it all. Like, when he has a match, he doesn't half-ass it.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
He will take risk that a normal guy of his size shouldn't take. Jumping, going up on the ropes and all that. You don't see too many of those.
I noticed that big time, and he was in the 92 SummerSlam that we watched, right?
Yep, yeah, he was, yeah.
And who did he fight?
Kamala,
yes. Yeah. And he was moving.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and I know this was, 6 years before. Mm. But he had the skills to move around like that as a big man, and he kind of kept it right up until, I don't know, his matches with Shawn.
Yeah, for sure.
The late 2000s, so good point to bring up, Jake.
Yeah.
But Austin's punches might be some of the best in the business, no?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, he can throw a working punch, like, better than anyone.
That's why, man.
But also, you got to remember, Undertaker does the same thing, too, with the punches.
Yeah, he's more like...
He gets the slap in the bicep kind of...
style, too.
Yeah.
I like both of their styles.
There's a random side note, but on the note of Austin's punches, that's why it's always fun to watch those matches with Austin and Brett. Because those are probably the two best guys at punching.
Two best, yeah.
So when you see the two of them, it's...
In Austin, I feel like, I don't know...
It's different.
Tell me if I'm wrong and roast me in the comments if I am, but I feel like Austin uses a lot of the corners, too, no?
Oh, yeah.
He uses them to his advantage, and he makes sure that they're not just a part of the ring, they're a part of the match. And Brett, again, like we've talked about on other podcasts, on other shows, lookbacks, at PW LookBack, he's really good at using the corners as well.
Yeah.
So I agree. I'd like to go back and watch the Brett and Stone Cold WrestleMania. Maybe when we get closer to Mania this year, we'll focus on that as being one of the lookbacks.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, what else do we have? We had a really weird bump from the old school. Kind of Undertaker was on the top rope about to deliver old school, and I think Austin kind of just yanked him. Pulled him.
And he landed...
he landed really awkwardly on his shoulder, and I myself, being someone that's dealt with a lot of shoulder stuff, I felt for him.
Yeah, no, I seen the way he landed. I was like, shit, that's not good.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about Austin. What about Austin in the early going with the drop toe hold? That was interesting.
Yeah, not something you see a lot out of him.
And he went for like a roll-up like style pin too, which was different.
Not very Austin, but good to see him changing it up. Yeah. How about Kane coming out to the ring to kind of mess shit up and Undertaker telling him to leave?
Yeah, this was a key point, I guess, because it was brought up throughout the match that Undertaker said that no, he was going to do it by himself. He didn't want any help from Kane. And then, we seen Kane come to try and
Undertaker sending him away.
And maybe some foreshadowing into the potential babyface turn that Undertaker might have had.
Definitely what this was throughout the match, yeah.
For sure. Kind of showing that Undertaker wasn't fully a bad guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had them go and fight into the crowd a bit, too.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Happy you brought that up.
That was actually a pretty fun one there.
Yeah.
I know you like the backdrop onto the floor.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Austin taking the backdrop right on the concrete, man. Like, that's... Damn. It's not an easy one to take for sure.
Yeah,
right?
that is a bump and a half.
And I like the fact that the announcers brought this up too. Again, kudos to them for just being so great throughout the night. But the fact that like it wasn't a no DQ match, it wasn't like a no count out match. But you know what? This is a fucking main event match. It's for the fucking main title. I like the fact that the ref's a little more loose, not so easy to just count the guys out. He came out there, tried to get them back in, and was really,
did his part to make it be a good match as well. No, I agree with that completely. I know we talked about it a little bit earlier, but how about Stone Cold's belt? Like, were you guys a big fan of this? The fact that he got to have his own championship belt?
Yeah, I liked it. I didn't see any problem with it.
Motorcycles make an appearance once again on the PW LookBack.
It's got to be the Undertaker pulling up.
That's our fourth guess, okay?
Yeah, the fourth rotating chair.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I like that belt. It's not. It wasn't didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. It was just cool. It was Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Jay?
Yeah, because I feel that like it represents him as the champion, and it's better. Like, I don't know, I like the classic belts compared to today's belts.
Mm-hmm. But you're okay with him getting a custom belt?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Like the Broken Skull belt, that was like,
or like
really,
The Rock or Cena's.
It's a like his just that belt is perfect. You know what I mean? Like
I obviously must be a pretty big fan of it though, because I bought it. Like
you had it as a kid.
I had other options, and that was the one I picked. So
yeah.
So back to that other question too. If I have a favorite, does that maybe make Austin? Probably.
I would say so.
Think,
that and kind of coupled with the fact that I asked you earlier if he was your favorite at the time, and I know you said he wasn't the top, but he was there.
Sure,
so out of these two, I think I know you well enough to say that you probably like him more than The Undertaker, and I would say the same, not being a huge Undertaker fan myself. Obviously giving him the respect and that he deserves, but I don't know. Everybody's got a different opinion. Yeah, so how about that stunner reversal?
Yeah, I was just about to get into that too.
Yeah, explain it.
It was good. So we had Austin kind of going for the stunner. Undertaker backed up and just rolled backwards outside of the kind of a typical move we see from him later on in years, like the back roll out of the over the top rope. I mean, and landing on his feet. Like it's a very Undertaker thing.
Usually when he exits
after a match or something, right?
Yeah.
So it was cool though to see him use it in a reversal.
I was just gonna say the fact that he like threw that into his repertoire to make it look like it's the natural thing that he does. Perfect.
Wicked.
Perfect. They fought outside the ring a little more. They made their way to the announce tables. Undertaker got Austin up on the announce table.
Oh yeah. This is a pretty interesting one. There, he beats him down and then he goes up to the top ropes, and it gets a whole lot interesting from there. He does a friggin' leg drop from the top rope.
Yeah,
to
Shane McMahon style.
To the classic Spanish announce table.
Yeah,
always
gotta be the Spanish, back then. I feel like nowadays they always go for the main one, whereas back then it was always the Spanish announce table.
Yeah. So and then the table didn't break fully.
No, but it did kind of break after. I don't know if Undertaker got back up and pushed him through, but I know they cut back.
Well, they pushed it over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I know they cut back and the table did look broken after a bit. So.
But yeah, that was definitely a very heavy hit there. With that leg drop.
When Undertaker got up there, I was like, I kind of forgot about this spot.
Yeah.
It was weird because I remember this match, but I kind of forgot about the spot, and I was like, no fucking way.
But again,
he flew.
But again, like that's the one thing I have to add. Do you see a lot of big guys that are 6'10", 300 pounds doing that?
Not at all.
That's why. Like things like that. That's why I like the Undertaker.
And I feel like I said, like they had to follow up from a pretty crazy match before, and this added to that. Like to me, thinking they definitely kept the pace. Obviously, two guys of their caliber. Like
again, similar to the other match, and I don't want to get too repetitive, but they were very creative with their spots. Because there's another spot that I didn't bring up that happened prior to the leg drop outside the ring, and that was Undertaker getting a nice clap on the neck for the chokeslam, like we've talked about before. But him getting the chokeslam, kind of holding Austin outside the ring. Undertaker was inside the ring, and I thought he was just going to lift him up and chokeslam him onto the apron.
Same here, yeah.
But no, he picks his ass up and fucking chokeslams him into the middle of the ring.
Almost like a running chokeslam.
Yeah.
I think it was almost like 3/4 of the ring.
Not something I've seen before out of the Undertaker or anyone else for that matter.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah,
good move.
Definitely.
But yeah, so after the leg drop through the table, like Jag mentioned, Undertaker managed to get up and slide Austin into the ring for a very slow 1-2 kick out. Good on Austin. I mean, it makes sense. Big bump, but the story was still being told, and it was good. Austin kind of came back with a really nice Lou Thez press. I thought that's vintage Austin.
Classic Austin.
Yeah, and great work by him and Undertaker tonight. Like I said earlier in the show, I think the chemistry of those two is something that I didn't quite fully understand until watching a full match like this with the two of them. I obviously knew that they're good friends. It's somebody I'd love to see or hear on Austin's podcast. Is Undertaker in the future. As well as Triple H and The Rock. I feel like the four of them on a show together talking about this era would be
money.
Podcast gold.
Yeah, it'd be the gold mine.
Don't take our opinions. We're just diehard fans, so,
Yeah. But no fucking... what a match.
What a match is right. How about how about Taker yelling? A little bit of getting a little...
Oh, when he heaved him up. Yeah, this again, going back to something I said earlier, and then I like it. It shows
Yeah.
like the fatigue, man.
Well, I put a little star there with your name because I wanted to bring it up for you.
Yeah, because he what did he do? Drop him his, midsection on the top
On
rope,
the top
right?
rope, yeah.
But as he went to lift Austin up, obviously being tired, they were going at it for, I don't know, a
At
good
this
amount
point,
of time.
20 minutes at least, 25.
So Undertaker kind of a little bit of a yellow
Yeah,
to get Austin up there.
but with the crowd still loving Stone Cold.
Oh yeah, the crowd. Yes, I didn't even get
Big
into that as
time.
much.
Oh,
They had
big
a lot
time.
of Austin, chants
Austin.
throughout the match. That was good, man.
Yeah, they loved him big time. So he did that. He got him onto the rope, pulled him off, finished, sorry.
No, we had a nice double drop down from both guys where they both like kind of clotheslined each other. And were down.
Yeah.
And this was like towards the end.
And they
part
were
of it.
kind of both laying out. We
Yeah.
didn't know who was going to get up first kind of
Yeah.
thing. I remember that. And that led to Undertaker going for the old school.
Yes.
Again,
Yeah.
trying it one more time. Basically, he's up there on the ropes, goes for the old school. He jumps down. Austin catches him with a quick low blow midair.
But I don't think the referee caught it.
No.
And
Then
hits him with that stunner.
hits him with the stunner and a very, very slow 1, 2, 3.
No, I think he went too fast there. To be
I don't know. It was a pretty slow count. I got to be honest.
I got things to say about all of this.
Yeah, I'm just going to say very good match. Low blow for the finish, though.
Yeah, though, like,
I don't know.
you know what? At the end of the day, like, you see at the end of the match, Undertaker has the title. He's looking at it, looks at Austin, and then he decides to hand him over, basically symbolizing good match.
Mm-hmm. But was that okay with the low blow? That's kind of where my point was at. And I know you
I
got
don't
something
know.
to say, too,
I don't know if
Donovan,
it
but-
was. Yeah, it's interesting. That's a weird one because I don't know if that's was supposed to happen or if it.
I feel like it didn't fit perfect with this story
Itching,
that they were
guys.
trying
itching to break it
to
down
say.
here.
Okay,
I feel like I can make it all make sense right now.
Break
okay?
it down.
Yeah,
I think I
let's
got it.
let's
Hear this.
let what's the name again?
Don Watman, buddy, get it right.
Donovan Don
Say
Watman. Let's get his take on the finish of the main event between Undertaker and Stone Cold for the WWE
Should be in a
Championship.
new segment, Don's Take.
We could do that. Should we get like a jingle? I don't have one.
Little like news flash music. Dun, 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 dun. I'll just do it for myself. All right, so here we are, Don's Take, everybody. So this is why they call it high risk, ladies and gentlemen, because the Undertaker went up for the old school. That's why it's called high risk, high reward, right?
Totally, just like in life.
And if you guys remember earlier in the night, or maybe it was during a promo, Austin did say, you know what? If I got to do whatever it takes to beat you, I'm going to do whatever it takes to
If I
beat
gotta
you.
cheat,
Because I want to keep my title.
he did say that. It's a good point.
You know what I mean? And that also speaks to very much Stone Cold being that gray area guy, the first to really make it like, having the attitude of a badass, having the attitude of like a heel, and doing something like this to win the match. And Undertaker took the risk, and he paid for the risk. And knowing, Austin saying, hey man, I'll do whatever it takes to beat you. And that's exactly what he did. And then I think it's okay because it's not like he got on his knees and hit him with a low blow and pinned him for a 1, 2, 3.
No, it was very out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Again,
And the ref did see it. Like the ref said, hey, like he threw his arm up like, hey,
What was that?
watch it. For the low blow, the ref seen it. It wasn't like, I don't think it was like a blatant, it could have been like a low stomach, right
Yeah,
below
but you
the
see
pelvis.
Undertaker
Like, you know what I mean?
holding-
It wasn't like he
You
got
see Undertaker holding the old nuts.
Yeah.
right under there.
And
but yeah,
for Undertaker to come back and give him the belt and do a very respectful, manly move like that was, I don't know, unorthodox, uncharacteristic of
Also
not only
sending
Undertaker.
away Kane to say to how I'll fight you alone, which
Yeah.
is very like respectful.
Like I said, I think that was maybe
well, that's what it was all to turn.
the turn
Yeah.
to babyface, and I'd like to, like I always say, I'd like to
Respect
go
my
and
yard.
find out, maybe watch the post Raw
Yeah.
and see how that all played out with Undertaker, maybe feuding Kane. I don't know.
Respect
But
my
yeah,
yard.
like he hit. I like it. The fact that it wasn't like a low blow and a 1, 2, 3. It was a low blow, and he still had to do the stunner.
Yeah,
So
getting the elbow in there too.
yeah, throwing the stunner. I was just throwing a stunner there for those of you who can't see. But yeah, no, I liked it that Undertaker grabbed the belt. You think he was gonna hit him with it, and it was. I want to bring this up like for you too. It was interesting because I feel like a few of these lookbacks now they've been ending with this. The last 3 we've done, or a few we've done recently, ending with this respect theme, eh? Kind of interesting,
Yeah.
random side.
Bret Hart and the Bulldog,
Yeah, and Benoit
Randy
and
Orton and Benoit, Undertaker. Yeah, I guess
Interesting.
SummerSlam, they a lot different than, I want to say, some of the more recent ones that have
yeah,
ended in
do
some
not- yeah.
chicanery. But we don't want to talk about that. Overall, I think, like I said, I thought a lot of the matches on this show were really good.
Yeah.
This one being probably, I don't know, if not best, second best. I would
Yeah.
say probably second best for me. But I don't know, 4 to 5.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
agree.
They
You guys-
delivered. They definitely delivered. The way they hyped it, these two guys
Well,
definitely delivered.
They
Mhm.
did it delivered. Plus, remember the match that was previously before the main event was, I think, honestly, in my opinion, stole the show. Basically, you know,
Yeah.
it stole the show. But you got to look at it. That's what you have to compete up. They did very well, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was really good. Did you guys have a favorite out of those two before I get into our standout moments?
Out of those two matches?
Yeah. I think you guys gave 5s for the first one with The Rock and stuff. So
Yeah.
probably that one, but yeah. Okay, so this is something we do on every PW Look Back. We want to get into our standout moments of the night. These are moments that we think will be, standing out to us in the future, a week, 2 weeks, a month, a year, whenever we decide we want to talk about this pay-per-view again. What are some of the moments to you guys that are going to stand out and you'll remember when you think about SummerSlam 1998? Jag?
Well, I'll hit this one up first. Well, first of all, the oddities. That definitely stands out in my book.
Hey, it doesn't have to be a good moment.
Yeah,
It just has to be a moment that's going to stick out.
That was the greatest moment that stuck out, and I think it's still stuck in my head.
Really?
Just a very interesting match. 5 Asian guys or 4 Asian guys versus 3 gigantic guys.
Yeah, Leatherface Cartman and Great Khali look-alike.
I don't know who Leatherface is.
No, Giant Silver, man.
Yeah,
but
Giant-
I think that no, that's not who I think. No.
Yeah, it was him, Giant Silver.
Oh, okay,
That's
yeah.
what they call
Yeah.
him.
Any other standout moments for you? More positive ones,
Okay,
maybe, or
the really
more serious?
I would have to say the Jeff Jarrett haircutting that match.
Yeah, honestly, it was a good story.
The match was a good match, and then to end it off was the Jeff Jarrett going with the short hair now, you know.
Yeah.
And he rode that out for the rest of
That
his
was his
career,
look, yeah.
right? He
Yep.
never had the long hair again.
But now we go to the co-main event and the main event. Actually, those two things stand out.
Yeah, you'll remember the top end of
Don't-
this show.
Yeah, because when have you seen The Rock in a ladder match other than this? I can't really name a bunch. You know what I mean? Maybe he might have been in 1 or 2 more, later on.
Yeah,
But the same thing with Triple H. Obviously we brought it up earlier that it was
Not
Shawn
some-
Michaels that
Razor Ramon.
no, Shawn Michaels and Triple H won the tag team
Oh,
that
yeah, yeah.
way. That's
Oh,
about it.
okay, yeah.
But then also this is now to the main event basically. Austin and Undertaker, that feud has just begun basically, you know what I mean? But it gets interesting because I do recall watching certain things coming up after that.
Mm-hmm. So all in all, you'll think about the big tag match and kind of the
Yes.
the top half of this show being a very heavy
Sorry,
top half.
It just came back to me now. Speaking of that tag team, what about JR's comparison to him to Andre the Giant? What the fuck?
Very
was that?
subtle comparison that he had facial features, aka his teeth.
Oh my god!
Shout out to Andre, but
Shout out
yeah.
to fucking JR. That was hilarious.
yeah,
Yeah.
he had a lot of good one-liners on the show tonight. I got to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, Don,
Would you like to know mine?
I would love to know yours.
Well, I'm gonna stray away from the obvious being the ladder match and say, man, the commentary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
stand
my
out. How many
standout.
times did I write it down and talk about it tonight?
Yeah,
Yeah, the commentary is good.
commentary, man. Just the fact of me
Flowing.
and like I said, JR just making me feel like it's a real athletic sport competition going on. His use of words and references are so great, and just the two of them together, I love it. Especially this era, Attitude Era, in the heart of the whole Monday Night Wars stuff. They were really on the ball with their commentary. And another moment, more in a match sense, definitely Undertaker doing that flying leg drop. Fucking amazing.
Oh yes. Oh wow.
Amazing. So those would probably be my standouts.
Yeah, I was gonna say that leg drop was. I don't know if it cracked my list as far as stuff I'll remember, but it's definitely I will remember it. I just don't know if it's cracked my list. Maybe it's on my short list of, honorable mentions.
Yeah.
But I'll give you mine, as per usual. I probably have more than I need.
No.
But I'll start with number 3.
Okay.
I have it on here just because I thought it was so bad that it needs to be on the list. That's the Lions Den match for me.
Oh wow.
I was not a fan of this. I would not like to see this come back, and I hope I don't have to do a look back of one of these ever again.
You might.
You might be
We'll see.
shocked it's coming back.
We'll see. I just think, like I said in earlier, an hour and a half ago, if you've been listening to the whole show, we appreciate that. But it just didn't fit to me. And if you're gonna do something like this, just don't really. Just put them in the ring. We're here to watch guys in a squared circle with 3 ropes and 4 turnbuckles and announcers and a ring bell.
Come on, man. What do you hate? Why are you hating on the circle, man?
I just didn't think that it.
That's the squared circle.
I'm gonna remember it basically. And these are memorable moments, and I'm gonna remember this weird fucking cage
I agree
clusterfuck that they did. Yeah. And yeah, that's kind of my third memorable moment. Second one being the ladder match, but not the match itself. More just the fact that, like I said, this match, they didn't do a lot of them back then. So the fact that this was like still one of the first-ish ladder matches, and they really played it off. It was 1-on-1, and just that. More the fact that, like I said, it was one of the first, and it was still played off in compared to the Shawn and Razor one. Number one being, again, that match, but more the selling and the creativeness of Triple H and The Rock. I know me and Don and Jag obviously talked about it a lot, but the creativity for me, I mean, you guys have listened to me enough on the lookbacks, but I don't know how well you know, I'm not a big Triple H guy. So for me to have my number one moment be not only that match, but especially Triple H and how well he did in that match, it's a big deal for me to say that. I definitely think that those were some of the standout moments for me. But I think it was overall a good show to watch. I normally like all of them. I think we've yet to do a shitty show, which, I don't know, shitty show. But you know what I mean? A show that wasn't the greatest. And this one was good from start to finish. It had its ups and downs, as all pay-per-views do. But the end and the start were very good. And there was some good stuff in the middle as well.
It was very well structured, I think.
Yeah, I agree. It's just that match.
Yeah, but
one more quick thing. I don't want to skip over this and like shout out to the whole squad of them, but DX getting the clean sweep tonight.
Yeah,
all members of DX winning all their matches. So that was cool.
Yeah, that was actually really good.
Yeah, I mean, we did start the show with their music, so shout out to DX, and we'll probably close it with them too. But like I said, overall a really good show, and it was fun to look back, 20 years later, knowing that we're approaching SummerSlam 2018, and kind of crazy to think that it's been 20 years. Not that we watched these ones specifically live, but, time flies. And I'm sure if we're still doing the look back in 20 years, then we'll look back at 2018 and talk about it. You know what I mean? I don't know if we will be, but who knows where things go. But, yeah, I think we've enjoyed anybody listening along this far. It's been great having you with the PW Look Back. And don't forget to check us out on Twitter, Instagram, at PW LookBack. On there, the website is prowrestlinglookback.wordpress.com. The email, prowrestlinglookback@gmail.com. And yeah, I'm on Twitter as well if you want to check out any Formula 1 information, more stuff about the Look Back. I get some Star Wars stuff on there as well. At Salsa, SCELSA. And?
At New School Money for me. You can check me out there, all kinds of crazy stuff on Twitter.
I'll link Jag's Twitter and Instagram in the YouTube description so we can add it in there. But I'm Nick. Thanks for joining us at the Pro Wrestling Look Back. And I'm sitting in with
Jag.
And it's your boy, Don Watman, telling you all to stay classy.
Go hard, San Diego.
You think you can tell me what to do? You know who you're talking to? Well, you better get used